crystal store in Brentwood, Tennessee, and the feeling is absolutely amazing. We are surrounded by positive frequencies and healing stones everywhere. I came in for a new pendulum.
It's amazing healer, amazing healing color. How long have you been with cancer? There you go. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, well, that's good.
Anyway, I totally recommend this place. I'm going to tag them. They'll be in the description box of this video. Absolutely amazing vibes. Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me on Healing Disclosures. I have a wonderful guest with me today, one of my crew members, Nya. How are you today, Nya?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm great. I'm super excited. This is just going to be, it's a very exciting, energetic talk, I think, for people that understand. For others, they may hear it and feel a little dip in their vibration, but I want the take-home message to be that it was able to do a lot of positive healing and change in that area. So, yeah, today we're going to talk about how part of my faith journey took me to Nashville. And so for those of you that don't know, last August, I really took my spirituality very, very seriously. It really took me down a path of self-discovery and rebirth. So I walked away from my matrix job and I really started following my guidance of Source, Mother Sophia, Kuan Yin, and Lord Delphinus. And in doing that, I have been given healing capabilities from the divine. And I have claircognizant is my strongest ability. I have clairvoyance a little bit. And Nya, being a crew member, she has her own abilities. I'll let her talk about those in just a second. But as the guidance goes, people say, well, what are your plans? And I always say, I don't make my plans. God Source is truly my pilot. I'm really the co-pilot. I'm like, tell me where to go and I'll go, and tell me what to do when I get there and I'll do it to the best of my ability. And it's really been something that that my soul has felt called to do. And I think it comes from years of being in Western healthcare and being a bedside nurse and really feeling that I was called to be a healer, but I was really trapped in a system where I could only do so much and only do so much good without the compromise of also doing harm unintentionally on my part. And so I definitely feel that this is part of my journey to my truth and to be as authentic and sovereign, taking my power back, deciding that I'm a healer, but I'm not just a healer for the people that come through an emergency room door. I'm a healer of any light being, any soul that needs assistance. And as we've learned before, I have old videos. I say old, they're probably only a couple months old, maybe a month old, where we talk about how souls have trees and the stories and wisdom that come from the trees. And so I've learned a great deal over the period of time from August till now. I learn every single day. I do not pretend to know anything, but everything that I do is divinely led. And if it's something really amazing, like taking a road trip and not really knowing where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do when I get there, do I just do that in blind faith? Not 100%. I have a knowing, I have a discernment that I use, and I verify and confirm with my other crew members. So they use their ability to confirm that, yes, what I'm getting is actually what I'm supposed to be doing. And then they tend to download other aspects for me. And some things that I can know, and some things I have to figure out on my own. So when I say that this journey is really fun, that's what I'm referring to. I feel like it's like the most divinely led trail of crumbs. Oh, look, you get to celebrate that. And then, oh, look, you have more to do. You know, it's a scavenger hunt to beat all scavenger hunts. And I have yet to really get the golden egg, but each day there are victories, right?
Right.
And so so this came to me a couple of weeks ago, I guess now. I was really pressed upon me to leave where I had been for the last 6 months. And I thought the whole time that I was going to be going to Georgia. And in the last little few hours before I left, I realized I was going to get to Georgia, but it was going to be by way of going to Nashville first. And Nya lives in Nashville. And so I said, well, I'm going to go see Nya because we've been communicating like this for months, but I hadn't been
Right.
able to give her a real world hug yet.
Yeah.
And so so we coordinated, and I went up to Nashville, and it was a long day of driving, but got there and got settled, and then we connected the following morning. And we really just were like, hey, we're going to go to a crystal store, right? I said, my pendulum chain just broke, so I need to go to the crystal store. So so we end up, Nya, it's her town, you know, she knows the places, she knows what's what. And we end up at Nashville Crystal Store. And we walked in, and it's a little strip mall, very small. Anyway, walked in, and I was like, oh my God, this place feels amazing. The energy was just palpable. I mean, I was tingling all over. It was
Right.
it had like just the best vibe. I mean, the absolute best vibe. Literally walking through that door was like walking through a portal to the fifth dimension to me. It was
It
just
really was. Yeah.
so amazing. And so the guy that worked there, do you remember his name?
No, I don't.
I apologize if you're watching this. I forget his name. Because I was overwhelmed in so
Energy,
much
really.
energy, so much energy. So anyway, we get over to where the pendulums are, you know, and I'm picking up pendulums, and I'm like, do you want to go home with me? I'm asking, and I'm getting a no. And then I ask, and I get a no. And I got the third three times the charm, right? So the third one was this guy. Hopefully you can see it. This guy, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And he's the one. He was the one that chose me. I chose him. We had a thing. So anyway, I look over at Nya, and Nya's physically there. But where were you, Nya?
I was in Egypt.
So tell us about that.
When I went in, I felt the same thing you did. I felt a whole bunch of energy, and the vibe was just palpable, like you said. I looked at the guy, and I just took off. I was physically there, but I went to Egypt, and I don't know why I went to Egypt, but I had the garb on. I had an asp on my shoulder, my arm area, a piece of jewelry. I felt the clothing on me.
Yeah.
I saw temples, and I saw huge crystals and stuff. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, where am I?
Yeah, so I
And then I
can see
came back
that.
in, and I was just like, wow, that was amazing. Because I literally smelled it, I felt it, I saw it. And those are the kind of abilities I have. I'm able to see it, feel it, recognize it in detail. In detail, I could tell you what exactly the material was and what colors they were and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
her abilities are more detailed visual abilities, but every now and then she'll smell something too, like it's clarifacient. You'll smell the answer.
right.
The message come through. So yeah, I looked up, I'm like, are you back with us?
It's kind of weird seeing you kind of not there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, like I could see she was kind of like glazed over, you know, like oh, she popped out for a minute. I just kept looking through the stones and things like that. And so I was going through stones and everything, and I got me some more pink quartz. And then I was looking at some other things, and at that moment, I think is when he said, so do you ladies have a special project?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, you could say that. And so I knew that he was really drawn to the frequency that we had. Like he felt us when we hit the store, like we felt the store, you know, like that
Right.
was a mutual connection. And so I said, you know, back in August, I was healed of all my negative energy and blockages. And I really started downloading information from Source Creator. And I was given my mission for this life. And part of it was attracting my ground crew members. And Nya was one of them. And that was us meeting for the first time in real life, but we had been, you know, soul family for many, many lives. And it was just, and he was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And I told him, you know, that I had been a nurse for a long time and that I had been really pulled away from that, but I was always drawn to be a healer. And that now I did energy healing and was blessed with that, the skills and the knowledge via Mother Sophia and Kuan Yin and all my ascendant masters and angels and archangels. And so he walked from behind the counter and he went because the store was full of stones and very well organized. There's going to be a video that we close out this recording with that you guys can actually see the store. But it was full of stones and everything. And so I'm just rambling on because, you know, I get excited and start talking about this stuff. And he comes to me and he says, he's got the stone you guys see behind me in his hand. And he says, this was a mistake in an order. It wasn't supposed to be in the box. The whole box is supposed to be clear quartz. And this is a golden healer quartz. And I think you should hold it. And so I put it in my hand and immediately felt shooting energy all throughout my body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not exactly uncommon for me, but it is from a stone. I haven't connected with a stone, a crystal, like this lady before. So, and he intuitively felt that this was for me. And so I said, well, how much is it? And he said, I don't know, because it wasn't supposed to come. It was like a fluke. Let me talk to my boss. And so he gets on his text message and he's talking to his boss and everything. And he goes, oh, it's $32. And I thought, sold, I got it.
Yes.
And so then like 2 seconds later, he goes, oh, it's $132. And I just gave it back to him. And I'm like, I don't have that. My faith journey is really divinely led. And I don't have a regular income. I really live, blessing to blessing. And I don't have judgment about that. I just open myself up to whatever comes my way. I'm super thankful. And there had been a few people that helped me fund my gas journey, you know, and to get point A to point B. But I did not feel, even though I actually had some money, that I could spend $132 on a crystal. In that moment, I was like, I'll be okay without it. It's fine. And so, but there was so much energy at that moment going through me, that I had to step out of the store. That at that moment, it was too much. And so when I walked out of the store, I just said, let me just check my account real quick. And I looked and there was like $100 more in there than I thought that there was. And I thought in that moment, intuitively, I'm like, this is divine. Like, this is source saying, it's okay. Like, this is for you. You need to do this. You need to get this crystal. This crystal is for you. Mm-hmm. And so I walked back through the portal to the crystal store. And the guy says, oh, I told my owner about your project, your mission, and he said he'd sell it to you for $98. And in that moment, I just started crying because I was like, this is how source works. Like, I walked out of here and didn't know I had $100 in that account. And I came back in and now this is being sold to me for under $100. You know, it's just like, I'm like, you just cannot question that. Like, that is a blessing. That is a synchronicity. That is not a coincidence. That is an energy there that happened, right? And so Nya looks at me and she goes, are you crying? I'm like, I can't help it. I cannot help it. There's so much energy in here and I just feel so blessed. Do you have anything that I was out of the store for a little while, so I'm not sure what was happening during that time with you and And
I went and found a pendulum for myself, and one spoke to me. It wasn't like that pendulum. It was just one you put on a necklace. And a lot of green stones have been coming to me. And that one just spoke to me, and I used it, and I did the same thing you did, asked it, and
yeah,
a couple of them said no, and a couple of them, or the one that I have said yes. So I got it, and I got another stone for my keychain, and
yeah,
it was, I mean, they're beautiful, they're absolutely gorgeous, and
yeah,
you're right, when you get something, it's basically you let the energy or the frequency or whatever's inside of you answer whether it's supposed to be yours or not. You
yeah.
don't just use your human self anymore. And
That's
I'm
right.
I'm using more of my 5D self than I am anything else. And
Yeah,
with all this energy coming in from the solar flashes and stuff, I'm always saying, I levitate. I literally
yeah,
get off the bed from a lot of energies, or when an imprint is coming into my body, or
yeah,
I'm being the fractal um,
yeah.
ascended master, or whatever it is that's coming into me. I literally like lift off, and I'm always saying I have to have a rope nearby
Yeah.
because I'll be a kite and someone has to catch me.
Yeah, that's like our running joke. I'm like, I need to put a rope around your waist. Don't fly off on me. So there was this beautiful exchange of energy,
Yeah.
and very synchronistic, and of course, to me, I just felt like me coming to Nashville made so much sense in that moment. Like if anything else didn't happen, like in that moment, it would have been worth it, you know?
Yeah.
And so we left out of the store, and then I said, I really feel like that the first thing that I encounter is a healer stone, and I'm downloading that there are places around here that we need to go and that I need to heal. And when I say that, let me just explain that everything is energy. Okay,
Mhm.
energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted, but it can be trapped. And so there are negative energies that trap positive energies and use them for power sources. It is a thing that a lot of corporations are actually over ISIS temples. They are not of the light corporations. They never were. No matter what it is that you think. And so if you are someone that like we can ask source, we know there is nothing to discuss. I asked source if this um business or whatever is of the light, and I get a yes or a no, and I make a course correction free will choice on whether to be a part of that energy space or not.
Mhm.
So that is how I dictate my life. That's why I don't make plans now, because I really need to feel the energy of something to know which direction I'm going to go. And that is really more in alignment with 5D Earth. That is more in alignment with being at one with your soul and your Christ consciousness and your abilities. Because people will say, well, how do you know so and so is whatever, based on what they say? Well, I don't, it really doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth, even in this now moment. It's my frequency that people feel, and that they feel feed off of, and it's a drawing to me, or they are want to get away from me because
Right.
they cannot
Can't
they
handle you.
cannot they cannot handle the power. So that brings us to heading downtown. So Naya's my chauffeur on this.
Yep.
This is her town, and we're in her car, and we head downtown. And there was a few select things. Will not dox the companies or whatever, but there were some places of higher education, and there's some places of healthcare, and some very important businesses that I did visit in proximity, and did my healing. So
Blocks worth.
yes,
Blocks worth.
yes, yes. So my energy field is very large. It covers miles. But to have the best effect on with my intuition, my energy, and everything I'm trying to accomplish my goal, I try to be there. Now, can I do it like remotely? Yes, I can. But it's much, much stronger when I'm actually there. There's much, much more going on for me. And so I just take my new friend, my healing stone out of my pocket, and I started doing my thing. And I look up and I'm like, I don't know why Nya is so far away from me. You want to tell them what you said?
She started doing her thing. She started doing the mudras, right? Yeah. She started doing that. She had the stone in her hand, and then she started talking. And then I felt a bunch of energy. But when she went like this with her hands, she literally like threw me side of her. And I was like, oh my goodness, her energy is so strong that literally when we were sitting in the car, not just where we were at, but in the car, my whole right side, like my ribs were, I felt like my solar plexus were just on the right side, because she was sitting on the right of me, were just cramping. And I literally was just getting to the point where like, I was like, I can't really breathe very well here. So I kind of called in my guides and said, kind of tone this down for me, put a shield here or something, because you're a little bit strong for me. And I kept saying that to her, and I would have a tear on the side of my right face and not on my left. So
I had no idea. I feel like me. Like I can feel like energetically, like there's energy flowing through me.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm the center of it. I don't feel how it feels in the circumference of me.
Right.
So.
But my job was just to hold energy for her, and I literally felt like I was being pushed. That the energy was so strong that it was being pushed. But when she finished her blessings and stuff on the property, I felt her energy deplete a little bit, and that was my time where I pushed the energy back into her. So
yeah,
it's kind of a yin and a yang.
Yeah, and so again, in that moment, I was like, this is what I was supposed to do. And I have been asked to do this before, but this is the first time I was able to do it with a crew member. It was the first time I wasn't like on a solo mission. And so it was a learning experience for me. It's a learning experience for Nya. Like I knew as far as what to do, like the steps to do or whatever, but I had never been with anyone of certainly not a crew member or anybody that was activated or had a high frequency or whatever that would even feel comfortable giving me the feedback. So it was awesome. Like I was like, cool, that's awesome. And I'm sorry, I'm making your solar plexus cramp. So we did a bunch of stuff downtown, and then we had some places we had to kind of travel out to, and we were headed out, and I saw this huge cemetery up on the hill, and I said, we got to go there. We got to go there. And so that brings me to the picture behind me. So we've learned well, all along the way, we've learned that there's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of things stored in cemeteries. Okay. Sometimes there are not just light beings, but also Isis temples and all the things in the cemetery. And those energies are being harnessed, and they are trapped. There's a lot of trapped souls a lot of times. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we park and we get up, and I'm getting really tingly again. Right. And so I had been in cemeteries before, but this was the first time I went into one and really focused on a tree first, instead of like the obelisks and the different things. And so I said, wow, look at that tree. It was like a double trunked tree. And what you're seeing behind me was one half of it that had died, and they had cut it. And under where I put my healing stone was just a hole. And I thought, well, that'll make a cool picture.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, there were the other half that was alive had all these roots and vines and stuff that had connected the old part of the tree to the living part of the tree. Very symbolic, I feel, very symbolic.
Yeah.
And Nya had her hand on the tree with like the viney part of the tree. And so she was feeling what you were feeling. You want to express?
Yeah, I was feeling that there was a bunch of souls in the tree, and she let the souls free, and that's exactly what I did. I just offered them the light, and if they wanted to take it, that was their free will choice. So,
and I put the stone on the tree to take the picture, and she said, "Holy shit, what did you do?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just took a picture." She goes, "Did you have this? Did you just put your stone down, your crystal down?" And I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "That's a game changer."
yeah,
Like that's what did it.
yeah.
And so, and how many souls did you detect at that time on that tree?
200 at that time.
200 souls from that, just that one spot
Yeah,
went into the light. And
yeah,
so, and you may ask yourself, well, why didn't they always go to the light? Because they don't know that they can.
right. You have to
And
offer
you
if
have,
they don't know.
they have to have a door opened for them.
Hmm.
And sometimes even with the door open for them, they want an escort. They're afraid of the in between, even though they're technically in between. They're afraid of the travel between where they have been and
Hmm.
where they're going. And so I'll call in archangels to come grab them, escort them, hold them the whole way, and then they are safely crossed over.
Right.
So we left that spot and we were doing the energy dance. It's like, whoa. And so again, I focused on another tree. I see this tree that had just been cut down. And there were all these cuts through it. And I thought, well, maybe there's still a story to be received from that tree. And so I put my hand on it and I just felt a lot of energy, and that needed to go, that needed to move, that needed help moving. And I started moving to a clear area, and I'm not sure what you were doing at that time. I think you touched the tree.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. What did
Yeah.
you sense anything with that tree or not?
I sensed that there was souls in there also that needed to go, but I also sensed that the tree was saying thank you.
Yes, that's right. That the tree was very gracious, very much gratitude for being around for as long as the tree was,
Right.
and being able to help hold these souls and everything. There's a video in that I did in the past from a someone who did channeling and clearing and stuff, and someone had a very long conversation with a tree. That trees under the bark are just pure power, and the bark is protecting us from that power, so it's like mitigated. And so that makes perfect sense, that these trees
Exactly.
hold
So like a shield.
these energetic souls. It's going to be a safe place for them to go.
Hmm.
So I had moved into this clearing, and Nya was off, I don't know, 20 or 30 yards away, I guess, at that point. And I start doing my energy clearing and everything, and disconnecting negative power from that place and connecting that place to positive power and
Hmm.
positive energy and all that stuff. And you looked over at me, and you want to tell them what you saw?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
When I was
No.
standing by the tree and all the light like flushed through me.
Oh yeah. We literally were seeing souls just rise up, like balls of energy just rise up and going into the sky. And it was a beautiful thing for me. I started tearing. I looked over at you and you looked like you were tearing. I wasn't real close to you, but you looked like you were.
Mhm.
And I just felt like we were doing something great. We were doing something really good, and it just gave me a really good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt a lot of energy released in that moment, and obviously it wasn't every tree. We didn't go to every spot, but we felt a lot lighter. The place,
Yes.
it felt a lot lighter in that moment. So that was just the two trees really, and it was over 1,000 souls, I think, in those two events. And so I felt
There's
in that.
something I wanted to let you know that I didn't tell you, that the couple days afterwards, I got a download that 25 or 2750 souls left that area. And we're thanking us. Yeah.
Wow.
2750 is what I got.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, it helps to have someone else around because literally like my energy is focused on that. And it's hard to, when I'm sending it out to also receive it in, it's hard. I'm really new to this. I've only been doing this since August. And so
Yeah.
it's all divinely led and guided. And I just have faith and I just get downloads on what to do. And so I thank you for adding that. It brings me so much peace to
Oh,
know
it does. Yeah.
that we were able to help, help do that. And so anyway, where did we go after the cemetery? Oh, we went out. We did some more clearings, some
Yeah.
more highly prominent places around Nashville. And we cleared some more places or whatever. And then I think we had some Paula Deans, go Paula Deans.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
it was good for Nya to get out of the car and get away from me for a little bit, give her side
Yeah.
rest.
Give me a little bit more space. The space is a little bit much here.
Yeah, to give her a rest or whatever. And
When I dropped you off and I came home, I was exhausted, just literally exhausted.
yeah, and I was like, I feel kind of bad about that, but it's also kind of awesome at the same time because it doesn't drain me as much as it drains other people to just be in that energy field, to just be around, which is good because I'm out there doing all this stuff. Like I would feel it would be much more taxing if I could only do a little bit at a time. Like when I get out there, I can really clear miles and miles of places with one session, so to speak.
Right. With one whoosh.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's really confirmation on so many levels. Like anytime I do a healing, I work with my guides and I use my pendulum and I ask for confirmation that our intentions were met. And is there anything else that we need to do? And there's more to do or there's not more to do. You've done everything you need to do for now. And of course, there's a lot of things, other crew members were like, like the tunnels and the this and the that. I'm not the only one out there doing, work for the greater good.
Right.
There are other groups, other ground crews, the Alliance. There's other powers of good doing some of that heavy lifting, and I'm very grateful for that. These were just the things that I was called to do, and it's truly such a rewarding thing now to walk in my faith and not have a plan and still be blessed and still be okay, and not just okay. Each time I have faith in the message that comes through, and then I follow through with it and I do it just to the best of my ability because I'm quite certain that I'm not doing things perfectly, but it's my intent. So people might say, well, how do you do this? Like, what do you say? And it's really about your intention. If you go anywhere, and you feel a denseness, you feel heavy energy, you feel oppression, you feel pain. Some places we went, we could feel trafficking, we could feel prostitution, we could feel that
Dark energy.
Yeah, that oppressed divine feminine and manipulated divine masculine. This is not just genders you're talking about.
Right.
Like this is who these soul beings are at their essence. You could feel that. So anytime you go through areas like that and you're feeling those things, it is your intention. So if you're a good intention person, you can literally call on your guides and ask to have these souls released from their bondage, released from being trapped, offer them the light, call down an archangel to come get them and take them to the light. It is what we do. It is exactly what I do. There may be some other things that I do or say or whatever, but it really comes down to my intention, right?
Right.
So
Definitely.
in that moment, it was another aha. And I'm like, well, now Nya knows what she can do all around here, people ask all the time, well, what can I do? I can't wait, or they say, I can't wait for this to happen so I can help. But my message to you is you don't need to wait. That
You can do it.
yes, we are energy beings and we are powerful beings. And especially if you have been cleared of all the negative energy and blockages and you're a free conduit flow of energy, you have infinite frequency and infinite power. And it is your intent. You may be a healer, you may not be a healer, you may be a channeler, you may be whatever. That's okay. It's your intent. If you feel the energy in a place is super heavy and super dark, release it. Release it. Even if your energy field is the room or
Right.
6 feet or whatever, you're still going to facilitate positive change. And that positive change has an effect, a reverberating effect, around you. So,
Right.
yeah. So, how have you been since then?
Well, it's been a whirlwind here. I've got a new baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Don't have a name yet, but she's absolutely gorgeous. 9 pounds, 2 ounces. And
Yeah.
after Ash was in labor for 30 hours, she had to have a C-section, but that's okay. Everything came out all right. And
Yeah.
everyone's doing good. And I'm going to go see her after I talk to you. So, but I've been just getting unbelievable downloads of I'm setting up my dragons basically, and I'm clearing a lot of negativity in like Freemasonry places and stuff like that, and the other organizations that go along with that.
Yeah.
And taking back their land and giving it back to Mother Gaia, and because it was always her land to begin with anyway. So yeah, I've been doing that. And if I go anywhere, I always protect myself before I call my Palladian guides, because we have Palladian guides that are directed to us.
Yeah.
And all the other elementals and everything that is available to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We use
I think that's a good
and we
point.
just
We're not just us, first of all.
right.
It's not just you, it's not just me. When you're arrive on this earth, however you arrive, whatever portal you come through, you arrive to a team that is there for you. And a lot of religions, they're not going to tell you that. They want you to
No.
they want you to feel like you're out there fending for yourself, trying to be good enough your whole life. When you arrive, you're good enough. And you arrive with a fire dragon assigned to you, and you just need to realize who or what the name is and call them in. They've been there with you the whole time, as well as archangels, guardian angels, guides, ascendant masters.
Mhm.
Again, they operate on the law of free will, universal law. You have to invite them into your life. They're not going to be living your life for you. You have free will choice. They are guides. They
Right.
are just like any other guide in the 3D matrix. So when you go on a guided tour, they don't tell you everything you can and cannot do. They just give you information and let you make your decisions on what you're going to do with it.
Correct.
That's how our guides work.
Right.
We just develop that relationship with them. And so I think it's very empowering for people to realize that you are exactly who you need to be right now for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything you need within you.
Right.
If you are drawn to any of this conversation and you feel like you want to delve deeper into that, just come over into the Telegram group for Healing Disclosures, and we'll be happy to answer questions and see what abilities you have and kind of help you develop them and see who your guides are and see what your dragon name is and all those things. But
Very exciting.
it sounds like novelty stuff, but it's real. It's real
Right.
energy, and it's healing, and it takes your power back. You're sovereign. You are
Mhm.
sovereign. You can find your answers. You can actually, facilitate change in things that really matter to you in this now moment. So,
Right.
you know, um, helping trapped souls cross over to the light is pretty important to me. Helping to disconnect negative energy from places that are trafficking little people or using their energy is very important to me. If I can do that in every little place that I go on this faith journey,
Yes.
you know, I am facilitating positive change, which in the grand scheme of things, that's what I wanted. I wanted to just, you know, source, give me my mission in this life and use me, send me wherever I need to go. And so now I'm getting, you know, bebopping around the country, and he's literally sending me wherever he wants me to go. And
Right.
everywhere I go, I'm not asking the how and the why. I don't ask that. It's not for me to know. I don't need to know. I
Right.
just need to confirm the direction and get there safely. And usually, I would say 99% of the time, within a short time of arrival or even on the way, I get the downloads as to what I need to be doing when I get there.
Right.
There was information downloaded to me prior to me arriving, you know, with Nya, and I was just kind of waiting for the puzzle pieces to come together. I said a couple of things, and she said, "Yeah, I got that downloaded a while ago, but I couldn't tell you. You had to figure it out on your own." And then there's certain other things that come in, and she's like, "Yeah, you know, I got this or I got that." And so, it's been very rewarding. It's very, you know, it's confirmation on your faith. A lot of us go through life with faith, and they want proof. They want proof.
Right.
They want proof. Well, I don't know about you, Nya, but I don't need any more proof. You
I
know,
don't need no proof.
yeah.
No.
You know, source is real.
Yeah.
Source, Mother Sophia is real. All of our guides are real. All that
This
energy is real.
frequency, this energy that's coming in is unbelievably real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
So everything
truly,
we were taught when we were kids that had like any mythological stuff, turn it around. It's all real. It's all real.
mhm.
And you think about, why did they teach us all that? Because they had to let us know, but they hid it
Yeah.
in a
And
way of saying it's
one of
mythology.
one of the archaeologists I heard speaking about these things, you know, he's like, as a scientist, we don't want to believe in that because we want to believe in things
Proof.
that are
Yeah.
scientifically proven. And then he said, but as I've traveled around all different continents and I see similar images of the same exact thing happening in place after place and culture after culture, at a certain point you have to say there is no coincidence here.
No.
This is divine, and
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I would love to be able to explain it, but I can't explain it. And that is the thing. The mind will talk you out of the magic. And there are so many instances along my faith journeys that if I let my mind control me, I would have never encountered any of that. But it is not my mind that is controlling me. It is my soul, it is my intuition, it is my heart, it is my discernment. And my communication with source through my higher self is the party planner. I try to have fun wherever I go. Sometimes he brings me to my knees and I'm crying, but it's always happy tears. Like, it's always happy tears.
Extremely.
And very, very grateful to be here in this now moment and chosen for this journey.
Same here.
Yeah. So I felt like there was definitely more I could have done there, but the very next day or that night, I think I got the download that I needed to move on, and in a new state, in a new city, and so I felt intuitively like that was me passing the baton to Nya. That, you know, that's her place, and there are places there that she wants. It's on her heart to clear, and now she knows that she can do it. She's seen it done. See one, do one, teach one. I think that's not the military way.
Yeah.
And so now pass the baton to her. And so I say that to say this is my virtual baton to anyone in your own area. If you feel drawn to help clear and release trapped souls and help them cross over, or just give blessings and just add positive energy, do it. Do it. It is your intention. You may not know what to say, but I can tell you I never did either. And it just comes in. It
Yeah.
comes in if you are authentic and you ask for guidance, the key is that when the guidance comes in, you don't think you know more than your guide,
Right.
because your guides have lived thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, and
Right.
they know what is ahead of you, and they know what has been behind you. There is infinite wisdom there. And so when you ask for things, you have to detach that ego, and you have to detach your mind. You only connect enough to make sense out of things and process cognitively, but you don't know more than source. You don't know more than your guides. They have infinite wisdom. So that is my cautionary tale on, you could get in a sticky wicket if you start asking for a lot of stuff, and then you start saying, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? That's not what a faith journey is about.
No.
That sounds like a questioning journey.
Right.
You can question from your home. You don't need to go on a journey to question. You need to go on a journey of your faith, and that is stepping into your faith. So you're putting it out there. What is in your soul? What is it that you're being drawn to do? And you're asking for assistance to do it. And so when that download comes in, when that nudge comes in and you're feeling it, don't discount it. Don't ignore it. And don't think you know better. Just say, I'm interested in that. I want to know more about that. What is it? Something that I can do? Is this for me? Because I think that's the biggest key. A lot of people are like, well, how do I know I'm not just listening to my own self think? I'm like, because that's not how it works.
No.
That is not how it works. That's
It's
not
like
how
a
it
little
comes in.
whisper.
And it
Do you
depends
feel it?
on your abilities, because Nya's abilities are different from mine. And I don't see my clairvoyance as like 25% of what my abilities are. The rest of it is claircognizance. So I just know stuff without the context of knowing how I know. I just know it.
Right.
And I'm certain of it. Like I know it with certainty.
Yeah, you trust it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So other people, if you're more clairvoyant, you're going to have more of a seeing without the context of knowing how you see it. And if you're clairaudient, you'll hear a voice, you'll hear an answer, and there's plenty of us that have multiple abilities, and you have all things coming in at once. Again, do not freak out.
Right.
It is okay. Be careful who you tell, because if they have a grudge against you, that you could end up in a psych hospital. We don't want that.
Right.
This is not those kind of voices.
Right.
It's just like guidance. It's just like guidance. It is guidance. And it's then you have the free will choice on what you're going to do with it. A lot of people, when they start out, I think they meditate on things that when they first start coming in. And once they meditate on things, you get into a place of your consciousness where the filters get lifted a little bit and more can come through. And that gives you more confidence, I guess, in the message coming through.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So it was a great trip to Nashville.
I'm glad you came. I really was so glad to give you a hug finally.
Thank you. It was great to be with you. And
Thank you.
I'm experiencing that each time I am with a crew member. It's just so authentic and so genuine. Like nobody has to worry about what they're saying, because we're symbiotic. Like we're right there. And a lot of times it's things that aren't said, like our telepathy is really on point, and it's a lot of fun. And it's just a little window into what we have coming for us as as we continue to ascend and the new earth branches off from old earth. This will be more of the norm as far as what we're doing and everything. So I really thank you for taking me all around Nashville and
not a problem. I had a great time.
Allowing us to do the work of the greater good for source. And you never know, I may be called back to Nashville, but I definitely empower you and anyone in your own, in your towns. If you feel like there's some places you should visit and add in your positivity, then definitely that's you listening to your guidance. Recognize it and do that.
Yeah.
And if you have questions, just come see us in Healing Disclosures Telegram group. We'll be happy to help you out and help you guide you on your own journey.
You'll find in Healing Disclosure, you'll find that there are people in there that something that you've yearned for that all your life that you didn't get, that you get from these people that you don't even know. It's such a connection, and I'm so humble and grateful that those people are there, and I just can't wait to really, really meet them.
Yeah. And that, because we're soul connected, we're
Right.
connected on a soul level. And so
Right.
even when, you know, in this dimension, in 3D world, we just met, but our souls have known each other for a very long time.
Right.
And there is a recognition, just like when your soul hears truth, you feel it deep down.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with us. When we connect with that other being, we feel like we've known them forever, because we have.
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you let your mind talk you out of it, you'll miss the magic. That's 100%. So yeah, it was a great trip. I hope that this inspires you. Don't get bogged down in the, you know, the trapped souls and the whatever. Just know that there's things that we can do. They don't stay trapped if you go out there and follow your intuition and follow your guides and work for the greater good. They only stay trapped if you're too afraid to take that walk in your faith.
Right.
And give it a try. Worst thing that happens is that nothing happens and they stay in the position that they're in.
And I think the big message here is that we don't have to wait to really be in 5D, because our souls are already in 5D, and we are the kind of beings to be able to make it happen right now at this now moment, because of who and what we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's the thing, is what we're focusing on now is what will manifest in the future.
Right.
So if you're focusing on doing these things now instead of focusing on waiting, you'll
miss the bus.
Yeah, you will be able to manifest the action instead of manifesting the waiting.
Right.
So if all you're doing is talking about the waiting, you're putting your energy towards something that is drawing in exactly what you do not want. So that is a course correction that you will have to do to move away from the never ending waiting and start doing some action. And that's why I think it's empowering for people to take their power back, to have their sovereignty, to feel like that they have their own green light to go and do good and facilitate change, because no one needs to give you permission to go and follow your soul's guidance on doing, you know, good work around your community or anything else. Just because this doesn't fit in the matrix thinking doesn't mean it's not for you to do. So
right.
Yeah, I if you do any of that, please leave a message on this video. I'd love to hear about your travels and the things that you try to do and all of that. But definitely, yeah, come visit us in Healing Disclosures. We're a very compassionate, empathetic, and kind group. The only two things that you have to be there you have to have a soul and you have to be of a light.
Right. Right.
If that is not the case, you're booted.
Sorry. Try again.
Yeah, it's not, in my way of thinking, it's not really a high bar, but for some, it's a very high bar.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, give that new grandbaby a kiss and a hug for me. And
I will.
Thank you for being here with me today. And thank you again for the Nashville adventures. It was awesome. I'm going to tag the crystal store as well in this video. Please go visit them. They have a bunch of, they have a bunch of things that they offer: guided meditation, psychic mediums, frequency healing, sound familiar?
Yeah.
Energy healing, prosperity healing mantras, all sorts of stuff. Go check them out. It's Nashville Crystal Store, and I'll put all their contacts in the description of the box. And again, I'm so sad I forgot his name, but he was amazing.
Yeah, he was. I'll see him again.
And I'm pretty sure he's on the crew. So
yeah. I'm sure he is too. When we were walking out, I kind of asked, and I got a yes.
Yeah, yeah. That was that reciprocal frequency that we were feeling in there. So, and I wanted to mention one other thing before I forget. So later on, when I got back to the hotel, I had a little moment to talk to my new crystal, and her name is Iris, and she said she's been waiting for me for 34 years.
Yeah.
So, I had another tear-filled, grateful moment with her at that moment. And she's pretty much been in my hands since I had her, since I acquired her in that moment. And so I'm so thankful, so happy that we took that first stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So thanks for joining me today on Healing Disclosures. I look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Thanks. See you later.
All righty.
We can be broken down. Under a microscope, we can be reduced to a set of systems built on tiny cells. We can be broken down. Exercise tears muscles, tests every breath. Opposition challenges our strength, our belief, our desire. And we push back. We use that resistance to build strength. We use it to build stamina. We use it to understand ourselves. We use it to make setbacks our launch pads and obstacles our stepping stones. Ours is a story of recovery, of being broken down to rise up stronger, of turning stress to strength. This is more than a story of fitness. This is the story of life itself. We embrace the breakdown to enhance the buildup. We do it on hillsides, in the pool, and down city streets. We do it through fortitude, through ingenuity, and undeniably through our biology. Our cells are performance structures. While we're talking about our day, our cells are talking to each other, building, renewing, regenerating. At ASEA, this is what we know. This is what we do. So you can maintain the miracle of your body and know what you're made of. We all get broken down, and each of us faces the choice to surrender or rise up stronger.